Okay, first things first. This video is brought to you by Rogaine, or anything with minoxidil topical solution included. Also, hers. If you want to lose your hair, if you want to look like you've aged 100 years tenfold, and you want heart palpitations, inflammation, you want to be dependent on a product that you topically put on your scalp that dries it out with its alcohol content and causes hair to grow on top of your nose in all these odd places on your face, and that makes you shed hair before it regrows any hair, your hair is going to be dry as fuck. Well, then that's the product for you, and you're going to have to be dependent on this product, and you're going to have to buy it every month. And then if you stop using it after you look like you've aged 100 years tenfold and grow or regrew all this dry ass fucking brittle hair, which does nothing for you, then this is the product for you. And once you stop using it, you're going to lose all your fucking hair. What a wonderful product. So now that I got that out the way, this series is for all of the Scorpios out there. Anyone with any plutonic energy that resonates with the sign of Scorpio and its energy, these videos are going to be just for you. This is Memoirs of a Lunarian Scorpio, a trans empath. I am transgender. I have a lot of plutonic energy. I have a Scorpio moon conjunct Pluto in the 8th house. A lot of energy in the 8th house. Very plutonic. And my life expresses that through its highs and its lows. So, what I'm going to be speaking of today is the dynamic that I have been going through for the whole year of 2021 up until this point where spirit has been speaking to me, an outside force that you cannot see, that's not tangible, that's not in a physical fucking body. You can say God, Goddess, my personal guides, the universe, which is very much included, or even Satan, Lucifer, or the devil, you could say, okay? But I just want to say spirit in general, because it's very real. And this isn't just the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction because I'm a Pisces ascendant. This could literally happen to anybody. And I am 37 years. This isn't a midlife crisis either. This is real. And not many people are going to relate to it. That old saying, you won't know until it happens to you. This is very much the case. And for anyone that does come across this video and can relate to it, at least you'll know there's somebody out there like myself that has went through it. So you're not alone. Okay? So I just want to get all of this frustration off my chest because since I created a YouTube channel, which I created my channel back in 2019, and I slowly started to create content that I wanted to create on it, for better, for worse. And it was a lot of different things I included that reflected my own personal values, my interests, my likes, my dislikes. A lot of it had to do something with my spiritual practice. It may not be perceived in the greatest light, but that's not me. I have light and dark. I have a shadow side to me, and it's not fucking going anywhere. And it will come out when it needs to. And I'm not saying my personal life is perfect, but that's not anybody's fucking business outside of myself. And even sometimes spirit and my guides need to step fucking back a bit and give me room to breathe. Okay? Because number one, I'm human. They're not. They don't have a physical body to take care of, to feed, to shit, to breathe, to drink water, to pay bills, to provide a roof over their head, to clothe their back, to live in a society in a day and age where everything is very plastic and superficial. Okay? So this is definitely coming from a place of love. Okay? And this is my expression of it, because I'm not perfect and I'm not here to be. But sometimes spirit and my own guides, they cross my boundaries and my own privacy rights. And they use this makes me tear up and cry sometimes, because I go through a lot in my personal life, and I'm not saying, it has all been challenging. I've had incredible highs where I've just been elated, full of just bliss, joy, just a total personified center of love, healing that I just pour out and radiate out of my own being because of certain time periods of my life that have been just the greatest, okay? And I've had rock bottom moments at my lowest that I've had to crawl out of many a fucking times, okay? So when I'm going through these points in my life, which I have been going through a transitionary phase in my life currently, where I have been very much tested. You can put the eclipse in it. You can say spirit and my personal guides have gotten louder so that I can hear them, because there's a needing change in my life. I understand that, but I have a lot of fixed energy to myself, and I can't put any kind of blame. I can take accountability for my own financial standing in my own personal life regarding my credit score, what I financially make as far as the income I have to work with to make certain decisions. But I can't just jump off the fucking cliff and be totally comfortable and start from scratch and just everything that I've built and just kind of just blow it up and throw it all up in the air and be okay with that. If I need extra time to plan ahead and do certain things, even though I'm still in the same place in my life, which it's kind of challenging to plan ahead and prioritize when everything has to do with your financial status to make a certain kind of decision as far as a move, as far as just you being able to be independently, solely reliant on yourself as far as your own basic needs, where you can start a new life. I'm not in that situation right now, and I don't know what the unknown looks like, okay? And that is just off-putting for me, no matter what comes up in my life. And I just want to just talk about this, because if you're in this type of situation, sometimes you just have to step back, take a deep breath, and you just have to tell your own spirit and your own guides to just hold up and give you room to breathe. Because mine have crossed the line, and I try to tell them, please. They want to start off really nice and caring, and they want to say good things about you, and they want to uplift you into them navigating where they want you to go. And you can say it's your soul too, which it is a big part. It's your soul's evolutionary, growth and where it needs to head, and your karma. I'm studying evolutionary astrology, and I'm really into astrology, tarot, divination, and even occult philosophy. However, sometimes these unseen, untangible force, God, Goddess, Universe, Spirit, our guides, Satan, Lucifer, they overstep their boundaries with me. And I'm speaking of this because if it's happening to you, well, it's okay. It's a part of just walking a spiritual path in life and being resistant to change in a way where you have to just be honest with some of these spirit guides of your own and say, hey, you know what? You're not helping the matter. Even if you are showing me all of these synchronicities. And this is the part where I tear up. I want to get back to where I can cry sometimes because I feel like nobody hears me, but Spirit and your guides, they do hear you. They talk to you through other people, and they talk to you through people on the internet, online. They talk to you through synchronicities. They talk to you through real life people. They talk to you through music. It's very loud, and it's direct, and it's right in front of your face. And situations and circumstances happen. But I have been really going through, this situation for the past year and a half where Spirit has been talking to me very loud and clear. The universe has been talking to me. And, I don't even want to say, it's this tug of war between God and the devil, because I believe everything has its place, and light and dark both exist together. So you can't suppress one and demonize one, part of some sort of unforeseen entity. But we have 5G rolled out now, and the internet and 5G is a portal and is a gateway where it opens up a dimension for spirits to become clearly evident within our life this day and age. Totally. So, back to when I started my YouTube channel, I want to say within 2020 is when I started to get some sort of interaction going on with the other YouTube subscriptions and the other channels that I would watch. And these are some big astrologers and other tarot card readers. And even when I had to resort back to Christianity because I felt like I needed protection from some sort of demonic force because of, how sour and dark things got during my spiritual walk. So I felt like, okay, well, maybe I need to get rid of all of my, divination tools and tarot and dive deep into, scripture and, have God just take everything, all of this out of my life because I need protection from, the devil or demons or whatnot. But I don't, hell is one place, heaven is another place, earth, this is one place. There's many galaxies out there, billions in the star system, and we ourselves are our own universe. And timeline and time lapse, this, that, and the other. So how can I call one thing, wrong or bad? Anyways, so back to my train of thought. I felt like I needed some real protection so I could stop hearing the creaking noises and the, settling of the house, you could say, or, some of these readers would, say things where it had me concerned for my well-being. So that's why I resorted to Christianity. But when I was building back up my channel, with some of these other channels that I would watch, these people, they would be talking directly to me. Every time I would put out a video, they would come back with the video where they would show clothes that I would be wearing, patterns, colors, direct messages that were responding to the videos I was creating. And, they were really nice at first. And then whenever it got really, dark, and I felt like I was exerting way too much creative energy, and they were basically like draining me of my own creativity, and they were using it to harness my transformative and creative energy and create more content, stuff that I did, because I have a small channel. A lot of people probably think, well, why do you think you're so influential or special that these bigger channels would want to do that? Well, it happens. And if it wasn't them, it's people that are, these elitists up there that are watching all of the YouTube channels or the occultist or, whatnot. But it happens, okay? And this is what's happening. This is what has happened to me. And I have to talk about it, because before I put out a book about it, which I need to write this experience down and make it a book, I'm going to air it out on my channel, and I'm going to speak about it. Because I'm sick and fucking tired of hearing everyone come back at me with what I need to do in my life about, you know, the person that's around me, the roof that I still live in, the dead-end job that I'm still working to take care of myself, how I haven't jumped off that fucking cliff like the Fool card, and how I haven't let the tower happen, and then the eclipse, this, that, and the other. Well, for one, I'm going through a Chiron transit in my first house, which has been happening for the past 10 fucking years, and is still going on, and won't be out of my first house until, you know, I want to say a good 2 more solid years. So I've had to deal with those vulnerabilities, insecurities, that healing process. And that's not easy to deal with outside of your home, okay? And then 2, I'm transgender, and I have to deal with all of this stigmatization. You know, when they talk more about transgender and, you know, all of these gender topics in the news, you think that people would become more open-minded, but it's really the opposite. You know, they no longer can form their own opinion. And speaking from personal experience, you know, before it was so kind of put out there in the media, a lot of people perceived me differently. They treated me like a normal human being, but now they treat me like some sort of fucking experiment or something to kind of take in some sort of information, like I'm a walking Discovery Channel or some fucking bullshit. Okay? Because they already have this program, this, you know, information of, you know, what to perceive, this, that, and the other, put in their mind through the media. Okay? So, anyways, back to what has been going on. So these channels would respond to me every time I created content. And let me tell you, some of the music that I use in some of my horoscopes, like Halsey, she's one of my, she's one of my favorite singers, artists that are more recent. I mean, Mariah Carey is like my all-time inspiration favorite. I love her. If it wasn't for her, her whole being. She also has a Scorpio moon, and I've always loved her message. She writes her own music. She's always been a huge inspiration in my own life. You know, when I did my little leprechaun thing and talked about short people because I'm tall and I like to embrace me, you know, being a supermodel and being beautiful and tall, and, you know, because I'm transgender and I went through male puberty, but I look at myself as a beautiful, tall woman, okay? An exotic rarity, a supermodel. And I wish I could live that life. Maybe one day it will happen, so I can get the fuck out of here and go somewhere far fucking away and have a nice adventure. But, you know, she came back and made, you know, this, I started to see these advertisements pop up about Black Irish, because I talked about how the dictators really care about Black lives and they made Black Lives Matter this and that, and, you know, that popped up. And then with Halsey, her whole album, you know, song after song was basically talking about each video I did, you know. And go back, and if you look at the timeline between, you know, some of these other channels, and there are names that I don't want to mention because I don't want to put these people on blast, because if it's